Rules for K-map simplification. In previous lecture, we read about what is K-map, the overview of K-map, who was the founder of K-map, what are the types of K-map, why we use K-maps, and we also did few examples for this. So today we'll study about what are the rules for simplification of K-maps. So there are 7 rules. So in today's lecture, in part 1, we'll study till group cell containing till the rule 4, and remaining 5, 6 and we will study in part 2. So the rules are: groups may not contain 0. Why a group should not contain 0? Whatever equation we are taking here in this lecture is as per SOP form. I think if the students you have some confusion about SOP or POS form, then you can go back and study our lecture, online lecture 2 before our vacations, in which we study about SOP and POS. So in this we will take SOP form. So groups may not contain 0, only we will take 1. We can group 1, 2, 4 and n number of cells. You know all cells, the number of cells in the K-map, so we can group them. How we will group them, we will learn in this lecture. Each group should be as large as possible. Cells containing 1 must be grouped. Group may be overlap. What is overlap, we will study in next lecture. Opposite grouping and corner grouping also study in next lecture. There should be fewer groups as possible. This also the reason I will tell you in second part. So let's start the first 4 rules. Groups may not contain 0. That is the same, because we are taking SOP form, so it should be always 1. Second, we can group 1, 2, 4, 8 cells. Okay, what is grouping? Grouping is something to making the pairs, like we'll make this quarter. Okay, this is a group, we'll make this grouping. Okay, this is the group. This single can also be a group. Why? Here it is. Cells containing 1 must be grouped. Why will not group with this 0? Because groups may not contain 0. So grouping is whatever making together all the values or variables in the K-map. So this is a 4 variable K-map, A, B and B, C, and there will be 16 cells in that. So let's start grouping in this K-map. So what is the first group? You can see this red mark. Why we are not grouping this 1 and 0? Because of the first rule, groups may not contain 0. So we'll take this as a group. In previous examples, from this equation we marked them in the K-map, but when we are doing grouping, then we'll write their variable, or you can say equation, whatever here. So what will be the equation for this 1? A and B is complement complement, C and D is also complement complement. So it will be A complement, B complement, C complement, D complement. So this is our first group. Now the second group is this quarter. We take this 4 group. Now how we'll write the equation for this? When we are taking or grouping, we need to take the common ones. What the common ones? A, B and C, D common values. So the C, Ds are 1, 1 and 1, 0. A, Bs are 0, 1 and 0, 0 in this quarter grouping. So first we will take A, B. What is A value in this both? 0, 0. So it's common, so we will take this. So because it is 0, so we will take A complement. Here it is A complement. What is B? B here is 0 and 1. So it is not common, so we will not take the B value. Now we will come to the C and D. What is C value in this? 1 and 1. So it's common, so we'll take C. Now the remaining is D. What is the D value here? 1, 0. So it's not common, so we'll not take D. We'll only take A and C because both are in common, A complement and C. So the grouping equation for second group is A complement C. So is there any more group? Yes, there is also third group, and third group is very large. What was the third point? Each group should be as large as possible. Why we take as large as possible? Because when we are making groups, larger the group is, smaller the equation will be. Smaller the equation will be, simpler the circuit will be, or logical design. Simpler the design will be, less gates will be used, and in practical less gates will be used, it's more good, and you can say more good design. So here we are grouping all the 8. This is our group. Why we are not grouping these? First we are taking these 2 or these 4. Why? Because it will increase the number of groups, and according to the rules, group should be as large as possible. Okay, now we'll start making the equation. First we have these 2 and we have these 4. So what is A? 1, 1, it's common, so we take A. What is B? 1, 0, it's not common, so we'll not take B. What is C? 0, 0, 1, 1, it's not common, so we'll not take the C. What is the final one? The final one is D. So D is also 0, 1, 1 and 0. So D is also not common. So the only common variable is A. So we are taking A. So now we can say, see, smaller the group, larger the equation. Larger the group, smaller the equation. Here it was only 1. So the equation was all 4 variables were there. A complement, B complement, C complement and D complement. What about the another one? Here we were taking 4 quarter. So it was larger than the first one, so the equation was much smaller than as compared to the first one. It was A complement and C. What about the third group? In our third group, it was the biggest group, so the equation is most smaller as compared to the group 1 and T. So in these examples, I think, let's see if there is one more group or no. I think only 3 groups are there. Yes, there are. So the final equation for all these groups are our A for group 3, A complement C for our group 2, and A complement, B complement, C complement, D complement for our group 1. So in this lecture we did this example. From this example we covered the 3 rules. The first rule was groups may not contain 0. So that's why we take only the single 1. The second rule was we can group 1, 2, 4 or n number of cells. So we take 1 also, we take 4 also, we take 8 also. What was the third? Each group should be as large as possible. So the biggest group in this example was 8 cells we were taking. And the fourth rule today's was cell containing 1 must be grouped. So we take this one. We should not left any one in the K map, even if it is a single one. We should take that single one and we'll use that as a group. So from these 4 rules we solve this and we get this equation, and in next lecture we'll do the rest of our 5, 6 and 7 number of rules. I hope from this lecture you understand how we make groups, how we make equations, and how we make the final equation. I think someone maybe if you have some confusion about how we take common, so it's very simple. I can tell you again. For example, if we are taking this 4/4, so we will take these variables, and we will check which one is common. So the value of a is 0 0, it's common, but value of b is not common, it's different, 0 1. So we'll take only a complement. In here C and D, C is common 1 1, so we'll take C, but we will not take D because it's 1 0. So the equation will be A complement C. So in next lecture we will do the remaining rules for this. Thanks.